few weeks ago, I had shared a video outlining my current experiment in writing on medium.com about sports cards and other topics, and now I have just finished my first monetized month on there, so I wanted to share how much money I made from my first monetized month writing about sports cards and other topics on medium.com. If you would like to join Medium either as a writer or as a reader, you can read a lot of articles for free, but if you want unlimited reading, you do have to pay a $50 per year annual subscription. I do have a referral link down in the description box. If you do decide to sign up, please use my referral link as I get a kickback from Medium for that. Also, if you decide to be a writer on this, I mentioned in my last video that if you want to write some articles about sports cards, you can sign up for a free account even and submit them to my publication called Sports Cards Once Again, and maybe there'll be some people who will read it from there. If you want to do that regularly, like if you want to try to make a bit of an income, I would suggest signing up for an annual membership. If you just want to write an article, just for fun or a couple of them here or there, then I wouldn't think you would need to sign up for an annual membership, but that's just my advice. I had another video where I talked about that a little bit more depth, so you can check that out. But let's get into this one. Now, let me just start off by giving you a very brief timeline of my Medium journey thus far. I signed up for Medium on September 1st, 2022, and submitted my first article the very next day. During that first month, I posted 35 articles, and then I was able to become part of what's called the Medium Partner Program on October 3rd. And the Medium Partner Program is when you can start making money from your articles. So it took me about a month to get monetized, which for me, considering that it took me about 10 months to get my YouTube channel monetized, doing it in 1 month was quite phenomenal for me. Now again, like I had 35 articles, but a lot of those, and I'll mention this a little bit more detail later, but a lot of those were actually previous scripts from my other YouTube videos, from earlier videos. I already had them saved into a document, a Word document. I just needed to basically reformat things to become an article. So it was very easy for me to put up 35 articles in that first month. Basically, I sat down for an afternoon and I would go through and make 15 articles and schedule them to be released over the next 15 days. So it didn't take me a whole lot of time. If you're starting from scratch, of course, you're going to have to do all that stuff originally. So again, I posted 35 articles during September, and then I became monetized, and then I had posted 24 more articles in October. So by the end of October, I had posted a total of 59 articles. Now in this video, I'm going to go over how much money I made and also some key things I've learned from my Medium analytics, and this will be especially helpful to you if you want to try to make some money writing about whatever topic you want to write about on Medium as well. All right, so I'm not going to bury the amount of money I made to the end of the video like I thought I probably would do. So if you're just here to know the number and move on, then here's the end of the video for you. But there is a lot of kind of stories behind the numbers or different things that I think can be learned from these numbers. But basically from October 3rd to October 31st, October 3rd, because that's when I became monetized, I made a total of $40.10. Now, this is actually great because it took me 10 months to get monetized on YouTube, and my first month on YouTube made about the same. And to be honest, making a YouTube video takes a ton more work than writing an article. So if you're not so much into wanting to create YouTube videos, but you want to create something, I think this is a really good option. I mean, I made just as much money with a lot less effort. I mean, you still have to make a good article and you have to make sure that you're putting in the work to make it good, but it's a lot less work than creating a YouTube video. This was based on 6,311 views and 2,179 reads, which is kind of a similar percentage proportion to a lot of other Medium profiles that I've seen people post about before. About 1/3 of the views are reads. I'm not sure what that is. I think some people kind of click on your article, glance at it for 10 seconds, realize they don't want to read it and go away. Only about 33% of the people stay on there and actually read it. It seems like that's common for a lot of people. Also, the other metric here is I have, by the end of October, I have 274 Medium followers. So that kind of is like a subscriber on YouTube. You need 100 of them in order to be eligible for monetization. Again, it took me about a month to get eligible for monetization, and then 1 month for this amount of money. Where did this money come from exactly? How did I make this money? Now, to be honest, because if you're trying to learn how to make money on Medium, just seeing that number $40, it doesn't give you too much insight on what you need to be doing. Some people might make more than that on their first month. A lot of people will also make a lot less than that, but it's really the learning underneath the numbers that I think is going to be most useful to you. So that's what I'm going to share next. The first thing I want to mention here is that more than half of that money, more than $20 of it, came from one single article. I'm gonna flash the analytics for that article on the screen here. So if you look here, the top chart is about number of views, the middle chart is earnings, and the bottom chart is member reading time. So there's a few things to keep in mind with these as you look at them. The middle chart, which shows my earnings, you'll notice that it was a live article for some time before I started making any earnings with it. This is because that is when I made it into the Medium Partner Program. So previous to that, I hadn't made any money from this article, and unfortunately that was when it had the most readers. So I kind of learned two things from this. On the one hand, this article did help me to get that 100 followers because it was getting a lot of reads and people were following from this. But at the same time, if I had waited to release an article like this until after I was already monetized, I probably at this point would have already made, I don't know, I'm guessing like $60 or $70 off of this article instead of 20. Because as you can see from the bottom chart, the member reading time, the heaviest reading times of this article were all before I was monetized. And since that time, it's been kind of lower down, but it still made me more than 20 bucks. So this is one learning. You know, you have to think of, the topic was how much money I made in my first month of YouTube. And that one, you know, I guess in retrospect, that one makes sense that it would have a wider audience. My sports card articles have more of a niche audience. I have some sports articles as well, and those have a bit of a wider audience. But the YouTube, how much money I made on YouTube in a month, in my first month of monetization, that has a much wider kind of base of people who are interested in reading about that. So it makes sense that this one would get a lot of reads. And it also is the kind of topic that tends to do well on Medium. Medium is a specific, there's a specific kind of person who signs up for a Medium account to either be a writer or a reader, and a lot of times it's on topics related to making money online, related to kind of like self-growth and personal growth kind of things, or related just to the art of writing, like how to improve your writing skills. It seems like those are three topics that pop up all the time as the top written articles on Medium. I also think it's kind of funny that, you know, in my first month on YouTube, I made about $45. And then on this article on Medium that I wrote about my first month of monetization on YouTube, I made about $21, something like that. So about half of what I made in the first month on YouTube. So that's kind of funny, I just thought. Now, one thing I learned from this article, and this article doing pretty well, this article didn't actually have the most number of total views. But if you look on that chart, you'll see that 93% of the views of this article were internal. Now that's an important number for making money on Medium. You only get paid if people who are Medium members are reading your article. You don't get paid if it's just some random person who comes and reads your article. That's basically because the way that Medium's payment system works is everybody who pays this $50 per year, it goes into this big batch of cash, and then they spread that out to all of the articles that are getting read based on the ones that are getting read most often by Medium members. So if you have an article, I can compare it here. I actually had another article released during this time where I had even more views, had 2.3K views by the end of October. This article that made me more than $20 had about 2K views. So this one had 2.3K views, but it's only made me a total of 8 cents. So quite a big difference. And the reason is because it has 97% external views. So by the end of October, only 60 views out of 2.3 thousand were from Medium members. That means I only made 8 cents from this one. So this taught me something. You know, there's certain kinds of articles that are going to do well on Medium, and other kinds that won't do so well, but might have a wider audience. So this one that had a lot of views was actually on the history of the T206 baseball card set. And interestingly, because Medium does really well with like Google SEO, search engine optimization. So my article, if you look up the history of T206, my article pops up at the very top of the screen in Google. So that's why I'm getting so many external views. People who are on Google are finding my article, but that's not necessarily making me any money. So that's just an interesting thing to note. I do have of that $40, one of the $2.27 of the money I made was from a referred member, and I don't know what article that person read and then decided to sign up for a Medium account. I'm guessing it was probably this article, because this is the article that has gotten by far the most external views. So that's one thing I think about, is even if it's an external viewer, if they end up signing up for an account because they read your article and they want to sign up for an account, then even external views can make you a bit of money. And you know, I'm not only doing this for money, I'm also doing this because I wanted to have another way of expressing the kind of same research that I'm doing for my YouTube videos. This is just a very natural additional expression, an additional thing I can create. Since I've already done a lot of the work, a lot of the research, I don't have to put in a lot of the effort. For this T206 video, I had made a video about this a while back, so I already had it already, so it was no problem. So the fact that I've only made 8 cents with it is not a problem at all for me. It's still worth putting it out there. But still, the one thing that this has all taught me is that if I really do want to make a stream of income on Medium, I have to be thinking about the type of reader that is on Medium already and have to create articles that are tailor-made for Medium readers. But I don't want to do only that. So basically my approach has been, I'm writing a lot of sports card articles that are direct translations of my YouTube videos into articles, but those ones I am not putting behind any kind of paywall. Maybe every once in a while, if there's an article that I think is going to get a wider audience, I might put it behind the paywall to try to make some money from it. But generally, if it's just general knowledge that I think is useful for sports card people, I'm not putting it behind a paywall. I'm having that one free. I'm putting it on my publication. My goal with it is to just build an audience and to build a kind of area where I can post articles about sports cards, and other people who want to post articles about sports cards can also do it there, to create a kind of community hub on Medium about sports cards, because there are no community hubs about sports cards on Medium yet, except for my publication. There's plenty about sports, but not about sports cards specifically. So I'm kind of gradually trying to use it as a space to just build connections with people. So that's part of my approach for that too, is I don't want to use Medium to just write the kinds of articles that will be successful on Medium, because I don't only want to be writing about those kind of like money-making things and stuff that tend to do better on Medium. So I'm kind of having a balanced approach to it. I actually wrote an article called Balancing What You Want to Write and What Will Actually Be Read on Medium. So if you are thinking about writing something on Medium, I think this article is useful. So, part of the thing I mentioned in my previous video is that part of my vision with this is, originally, I signed up for Medium thinking this was a natural kind of outgrowth, a natural kind of community building space in connection with the YouTube channel as the YouTube channel was growing. I was thinking, okay, people who are into sports card stuff are into sports card stuff, and this is a space where they can write more than just a comment, a one-sentence comment. Like if they want to share their thoughts more deeply about a topic, this is a great way that people could do that and actually monetize some of their own articles and own thoughts about different things related to sports cards. So that was kind of the original reason I thought this would be a nice community building type of space. So because of that, I don't want to limit myself to just creating the kinds of articles that are going to make me a stream of income, but I'm kind of trying to balance the two. So, of those 59 articles that I've published, I've put 27 of them behind a paywall and 32 of them are completely free for everybody. And those 32 are specific about sports cards. The 27 behind a paywall, a lot of those are about sports or sports history, which tend to do a bit better. I had another article that was about the origins of baseball and the origins of baseball cards. That one's also had about 2,000 views and has a pretty ongoing stream of both internal and external viewers, and has made me, $6 or $7 at this point, but is continuing to get viewers pretty regularly. When I go into Medium, I have two different mindsets. Sometimes I'm like, okay, right now my goal is to just turn this video into an article, put it out for free so people can have access to the information. The second type is like, okay, I'm going to try to make some money with this article. This article is going to be seeking the kind of viewers who tend to be on Medium more often. And then my third one is, okay, this one is community building. I want to reach out and just find a potential audience, find people who are interested in sports and sports cards and might become a follower on Medium and might be interested in following up with other articles I have. So I kind of have three different mindsets when I'm going in to think about what kind of article I want to release at that time. I'm just kind of trying to do a little bit of a balanced approach. But anyway, yeah, I've been really happy with Medium so far. I mean, the fact that I'm only 2 months in, 1 month of monetization, and I've already made $40 is very encouraging to me. I feel like there's a lot of possibilities. I think the ceiling, as you might say, is higher in YouTube. Like you could potentially bring in a larger stream of income from YouTube than you can from Medium. But the floor is also higher. It's easier to get to that point where you can start to make money from it. A YouTube channel, my 10 months of work before I made a penny from my YouTube channel was 125 videos. It was intensive work. It was hours and hours and hours. The monetization process on Medium is quicker. It's less of a commitment. On YouTube, there's so much to do with the analytics and you have to release so regularly. And it's tough to find your audience on YouTube. It takes a long time. On Medium, it seems to be quicker, and the analytics and the frequency of your posting and stuff like that matters a little bit less. It still helps, but it matters a little bit less to people finding your articles. So you can kind of do it at your own pace a little bit. And the other thing that's nice about Medium that's not true about YouTube is you can choose to write about different topics at different times and submit to different publications about these different topics. YouTube is kind of hemmed in. Once you have a sports card channel, your audience is going to expect sports card content. I can't go off and start making all this other content about a bunch of other stuff. But on Medium, I can make content about anything I want to, and then find a publication that's related to that kind of topic. So I really quite like that. It kind of opens up. I've put a chapter of like a fantasy novel that I had started working on a while back. I've written some articles about parenting related things. I'm probably going to do some future stuff about homeschooling and a bunch of other topics that I just find interesting. And I feel like I have more flexibility on Medium to write about about a variety of things, which is nice. My journey is only just beginning, and I feel very encouraged to continue it. So I will update you if there's anything worth updating. But again, if you decide to sign up for a Medium account, please do use my subscription, my referral link below. Actually, something like half of the amount of money you spend on an annual subscription ends up going to me, a little less than half, but close to half. And it's a continuous basis. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.